So great. We're here to do the discussions, and I have here with me Horace Ni Ayi Ankra, is Ghana's ambassador to China, deputy ambassador to China. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay. I've seen a couple of pictures of campaigning around.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is why we are in town.
Okay, that's why you're in town.
To making sure that the Ghanaian is told the truth about the achievements of the current government led by President Mahama and where he intends to take this country. So we're all here to contribute.
Well, it looks like a very tough campaign for you.
Well, every campaign is a tough one because for the love of the country and accounting for your stewardship, you're bound to sort of like explain yourself and tell the people what it is, the truth, nothing but the truth, and where you want to take them. So it is always a tough one.
Okay, we'll see how that goes. But in other reports, that means a Swiss NGO or a firm that undertook a survey that also gave indications that at least the diesel that is imported into Ghana and other African countries, at least 6 or 7 other African countries, is quite dirty. And really doesn't meet the standards in Europe, even though it does meet our standards. It just means that the benchmarks we set really are not right. But we want to get some views from the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distribution Companies. We have the Chief Executive, Senyo Hosi, on the line. A very good morning to you, my friend. How are you? Mr. Senyo Hosi?
Yeah, hi, Ro. How are you?
Charlie Adeo, long time.
Yeah, long time.
Okay, so this very report about the substandard diesel or oil that we tend to import into Ghana and the rest of the African countries where the survey was undertaken, is this something you're taking seriously?
I think that it's wrong to say that what's brought to this market is substandard. It's not substandard.
Okay.
When you say something is substandard, it means it does not meet the standard. Now, in Ghana, we have our standards. Our standards are not European, they are Ghanaian. And that is what has to be complied with. So the question, at 3,000 ppm for diesel sulfur content, which is the standard for Ghana, are we bringing and meeting that spec? We are actually exceeding that spec. We are doing better than that spec. This market is fed with about 2,000 ppm, and in some cases, 1,000 ppm. Which is much lower than the standard that has been set by the country. So it would be wrong to suggest that products here are substandard. But for you to see those that are used by individuals are actually driven on petrol, not even diesel. And the petrol that we have in Ghana is even more superior than some of the petrol you have in America, in the US of all countries. So I'm not too sure that will be a very strong argument. Could that, I mean, it's more for me a health matter and the emissions from that. There's a study that was done by the World Bank and African Finance Association somewhere in 2009. It's quite interesting and revealing. If you look at the pollution of our air, and you look at the atmospheric particles, particular matter, you see that the biggest pollutant is really road dust. And that's about 48% of our air pollution. So we have other issues as well, which are also important.
Okay.
The health factor of sulfur is relevant, but we have to improve it with reasonable considerations. You can imagine if Thor cannot do a 10 ppm, which it can't do now, because I think Thor has improved significantly. It should be able to do about 1,800 or at best maybe about 500 ppm.
All right.
Are we saying that Thor should not serve the country anymore? Are we going to lay off all the people that work at Thor today? That'll be a problem. We have to balance it and go progressively.
Okay. Well, point made then. Senyo Hosi, Chief Executive for the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distribution Companies, speaking to us on that very report, which now is being circulated in international media, that Ghana and I believe 6 or 7 other countries really import oil that do not meet the standards of Europe, but tend to meet our standards. And the question I was asking Senyo Hosi was that, does it mean that what we benchmark the best standards on are really low in our countries? Those are the. But of course, he's supposed to be the ombudsman, so he will always defend his chamber. But we'll see and hope that the situation improves. But Diai Horace Ankara is still here, and again, if you look at the current state, and we have to move on to the other subject. If you want to make a commentary on this, you can. But now we know that the president took a swipe at the MPP. Following criticisms that the highlight of his presentation of the manifesto that your party will be launching tomorrow in Sunyani, really sections were plagiarized from the MPP's own manifesto that they are yet to launch in October.
I don't think that the president was taking a swipe. I mean, the president is somebody that I know to be very decent. What he was simply doing was trying to set the record straight that we did not copy anything from the NPP. There is no document that the NPP has for Ghanaians that we would copy something from. I believe that if you want to accuse somebody of copying anything at all that you have presented, then the evidence should be there. But here we are, the NDC under President Mahama has taken a bold step to making sure that we launch our manifesto to tell Ghanaians what we have achieved in the last 8 years and where we want to take the country. So for me, the president was just telling Ghanaians that, hold on, don't listen to what others are saying. We are presenting to you our program. And for that matter, take what we have, dissect it, and know where we want to take you, so that at the end of the day, it wouldn't be that somebody is saying that we are copying something from where. Now, this is a president or the sitting president who is running the country. He is in the know. He knows the needs of Ghanaians. He knows where he wants to take us. So for me, he is the one who would come up with the program that will address what the Ghanaian needs, not anybody else saying that, oh, hold on, you've copied from us. From where?
Now, moving forward, it means that the argument about the MPP that the president's highlights also tend to have sort of expatiated on some of the points their flag bearer and vice presidential candidate also had been saying on the campaign trail. For example, irrigation, where they said they will be building 1 dam per village, and then factories for each district or each constituency, so to speak. And a number of initiatives that had been announced seem to also to have been incorporated.
If there's any coincidence in your thinking, yeah, which is in the air, and mine in black and white for all to see, if there's any similarity, it doesn't mean I copied it from you. We are all in Ghana. Now, let me give you an example. In the area where the president is saying that in his second term, DCs and the rest will be elected. Now, please, this is a listening president. Even within his government, he is aware that some people are advocating for that. So if today he's promising that in my next term, I will make sure that these officers are elected, does that mean that he's copying from somebody? It's a big no. Put it down in black and white. Let Ghanaians read. Then Ghanaians will compare what we have and what the NPP are going to come up with. And then they compare it to even the achievements of the NDC under President Mahama, yeah, and probably compare it to whatever they have attempted to achieve in the past. And Ghanaians will know who is the best one to lead them in the next 4 years. So it is neither here nor there. I believe that they have given themselves enough time to making sure that wherever there is anything at all that they would want to incorporate in their manifesto, Ghanaians will not say that this is coming from the NDC's manifesto. Now, we go into elections. Political parties go into elections and leaders say whatever they want to say simply because everybody loves the country. Are you getting me? You can never say that the remaining leaders don't love the country or the remaining parties do not love the country. But it's all about programs. It's all about leadership. It's all about commitment. It's all about somebody loving something more. And that is what you find with the NDC and President Mahama. He said something at Bawe, agrobel son if you're that sort of thing.
Agrobel son if you're not.
So this is it. This is what I have for you Ghanaians. And if you go through the highlights, I mean, there's so many. The whole thing is so loaded that I believe that it has overshadowed or it has overtaken many people by surprise.
By surprise?
Yes. But then it tells you one thing, that this is somebody, a leader, who is thinking across board, who is not thinking just about the northern region, where he comes from. He's not thinking about the Greater Accra region, where I come from. He's not thinking about central region, where Vice President Misata comes from, or the eastern region, where Nana Akufo-Addo comes from. But he is thinking Ghana.
Okay, but when you listen or look at the president's highlights, that was teased out from the main manifesto, some of the projects seem to have been that much ambitious. For example, making sure you provide tractors, if it's even tablets for schools after a pilot activity had been undertaken, etc. And still themed very much on providing infrastructure across board. That also it seemed very ambitious.
A leader with ambition is the one that you go for. I mean, where is the ambition here? I mean, we are looking at moving education to the next level. Now, in the 21st century, you realize that most schools in Europe or even in Asia, I mean, textbooks. I know that this thing was in the UK, it started in the UK long time ago. Now, where students don't actually have the hard copy, the school that you are in, they have a code from the Ministry of Education. A particular school would have a code, so that each student will have his or her own code from their registration numbers, etc., etc. Then they can always access the textbook online. I mean, it makes matters very easy.
Well, we do understand it makes matters easy.
Now,
but how do you provide tablets to students when the bulk or the rest of the population, the larger student population or pupils population, don't have access to even the hard copies, the normal paper textbooks?
Who said so?
Well, there are schools that have been reported across the media that don't have access to the basic facilities as they should.
A basic as in
some of the best structures,
we're talking about
some logistics for them to be used, to be taught with, and even the textbooks that we're talking about, to the point that now we want to give them ICT related.
Oh, the provision of textbooks, even if it is up to a point, does not stop government to making sure that we progress. Now, if today's technology is the best way of getting these kids informed, then why not? Why don't we go for it? So if the provision of tablets and the system of, or the e-system of information by way of textbooks is the best as we speak, why can't we do that as a country? I don't see the ambition here. The vision here is to make sure that Ghana is at par with what.
Mr. Horisanka, do you know that there are schools in Ghana that don't have the basic access to all the logistics they need for proper teaching and learning?
I do.
Okay.
Yes, and so at the same time,
while we haven't resolved that, how do we spend money deploying technology?
No, what I'm trying to say here is that it doesn't stop you from enhancing education. It doesn't stop you. You can address so many areas at the same time. Bring them up to scratch, and then make sure that you are also...
The money that you'll be spending on deploying technology, why don't you use that to take a lot more schools under trees, of those trees, and then you build them a lot more structures, instead of spending money somewhat and then not finishing the other?
Look, it's not that anything at all is going to be stopped. Now, if you listen to the president carefully, you realize that there are certain areas too that revenue collection will be enhanced. It tells you that obviously more money will be coming into the system. Now, we had the infrastructure policy, and we've bettered the infrastructure in the country. It tells you that the next stage is that the economy will be better than it is. So,
you believe that?
Oh, certainly. Well, you should believe that.
Yeah, because over the last 3-4 years, the president had been headlined in the best dailies that we have in our country to be saying the economy will be better than a year before. Never been.
Oh, no. We always expect too much, don't we?
Who?
As human beings.
As Ghanaians?
No, generally. Yes, we always expect our lives to be better. Yeah.
Oh, naturally.
Okay. Naturally. Now, when would you say that the economy is bad?
Am I the benchmark?
No. When would you say that the economy is bad?
Is there a question to me? Am I the benchmark?
No,
We're talking about the average Ghanaian.
No, we're discussing matters.
Yeah, sure.
You and I, we're all average Ghanaians, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Yes. So, somebody would say that...
You find the economy difficult or you don't find it difficult?
Well, the economy can always go up and down in any country.
And you're satisfied?
No, hold on. We always talk about it as though it's so peculiar to Ghana. It is not. It is not. I have lived in an advanced country where we have about 500,000 people who are going below the poverty line. I have lived in a country where school fees or university fees are increased annually. Now, you would have parents complaining. But having said that, look at the other side of your life that is also improving. You understand?
And in Ghana,
those certainly. There's certain areas that one's life certainly is improving. Now, look at the investment in education. Look at the investment in health. Look at the investment in communication. Now, when I say even communication, I also mean transport from here to wherever. Look at the investment in all those areas. Look at the attempt or the investment to making sure that you and I are identified. I mean, the naming of the streets and numbering of homes and stuff like that, to making sure that in
and the
future,
president said that will progress into having a national identification system.
Yes. Now, these are all progressive steps. When Ghanaians are identified, you find out that so many things will be known, and sharing what the cake will be so even that you realize that so many areas will be satisfied. So for me, when we say that it is difficult, in which area is difficult for you? It could be a non-starter for somebody. You understand? But I believe that with an infrastructure policy that this particular government has embarked on, the economy is certainly going to get better and better. Because from experience in all other countries, we know that it is the infrastructure policy that when it's adhered to properly, then your economy is going to improve on. And that is exactly what this government has done. Infrastructure policy has been so perfect. You and I know that. In education, health, roads, all areas.
And the criticism is that with this level of policy initiatives, or perhaps as an intervention, it means that we're now going to pile up a lot more debt. Already our debt to GDP ratio is not something we would encourage or write home about.
Well, I believe that the steps being taken by government are things that you can write home about. I just explained to you.
You're satisfied with our debt to GDP ratio? Is that what you're saying, Mr. Horace?
What I'm saying is that there's no one country that doesn't owe, and Ghana is not different. Now, for me, anything that is borrowed, do we see it being used judiciously?
Well, the opposition seemed to criticize the president.
The opposition will say that. If I were in opposition, I would be criticizing them, left, right, and center, and close my eyes to the infrastructure that has been improved upon. When I'm borrowing and I'm giving you good roads, where is the complaint coming from? Do we need that? When I'm borrowing and you're seeing the district hospitals being built, you're seeing the regional hospitals being built, you're seeing institutional hospitals being built, do you have to complain? When I'm borrowing and I'm decongesting cities and I'm decongesting our roads from city to city or from region to region, what's the point in complaining? You understand? I have always believed. Now, you can take something from what I think Dr. Baumia said quite recently, that is it 1 region, 1 million, or 1 something?
They are going to allocate $1 million every year to each constituency. And we have 275 constituencies.
That money was to go into infrastructure, to alleviate poverty and the rest of it.
Well, invariably, yes.
Okay. So that tells you that in improving on the economy, you start with good infrastructure policy. So in a sense, I don't see it even as a criticism. I see it as an endorsement to President Mahama's policies. Yes, that's how I see it. Look, even if the NPP are accusing the NDC today that we have copied their manifesto, which we don't even have, I will take it as that the NPP are actually endorsing the good policies of President Mahama and the NDC. Yes, because if I tell you that, oh, this shirt is nice, and tomorrow you see me in this same shirt or similar thing, it means I endorse who your is it stylist or
my tailor.
Your tailor. So in a way, the NPP are actually endorsing.
I see. And so you are launching that manifesto tomorrow?
Yes, we have a set date.
Is it not tomorrow?
Hold on. We have a set date that we said we were going to give Ghanaians highlights of our manifesto. We adhere to that. We have a date to say that we are going to launch it publicly in Sunyani. We are adhering to it. That is tomorrow.
Will you be there?
Yes, I'm going to Sunyani from here. Now, it tells you that this is a party and a leader who are focused. Unlike the NPP, I'm reading today, the acting general secretary is quoting a different date from what the communications director is telling Ghanaians. In launching your manifesto, you can't even decide and let Ghanaians know.
Well, they said 18th and 8th. They almost look similar. It's only one that's off. Could be just some mistake.
It's similar to the pink sheet, 51 to maybe you could write 15.
Well, that's not funny.
No, it's not funny. I tell you what I'm trying to say.
Because
to
8 and 18 almost look.
It doesn't almost look. They are totally different. You are giving the Ghanaian 2 different dates. Is it an institution that is stable? I'm asking you.
You said what?
Is that an institution that is stable?
You mean the MPP?
Well,
what shows that they are unstable?
Oh, well, even to this point in time.
They are giving 2 contracting dates? I'm
not saying it. It's in black and white.
No, I know that there's been some discrepancies or disparities in the dates. Yes, it's a public knowledge, but they'll still launch in October anyway.
Yes, after endorsing the NDCs.
All right. The customers of the defunct microfinance DKM, they wanted to stage a demonstration in Sunyani, and apparently the police seem to be placing an injunction on it. According to critics, they smell government's underhand dealings in this, trying to block the demonstration, just because the president will be there launching the manifesto.
Well, under democracy, you have the right to demonstrate, and if you are to demonstrate, you have to go to the police to seek permission. And then I think one of the things that you also do is that you present the police with the routes that you are going to be using to let people hear you or see you. And the police will then sit and check the security aspect of the event. And I believe that if they find that it is not advisable, not only to a president of the country, But to society, the community, I think they have the right to say, probably hold on, and then they sit with you to decide on a different date. I believe strongly that they are looking at the Sunyani community. They're not just looking at the president and the NDC. They are looking at a whole community, and if they feel
you
that...
You don't smell anything fishy?
No.
And very much coincidental?
Possibly.
That the president and the ruling NDC are going to Sunyani to launch a manifesto. And surprisingly, it coincides with that of demonstrators also wanting to convene that very picketing. Well, and as a result of that, the police have come out and told the demonstrators that early on we agreed for you to convene that very demonstration.
Was it agreed on?
Well, somehow the police were going along with whatever dates that the demonstrators were trying to give them.
Where's the evidence?
Now all of a sudden something has changed.
Yes.
Because the president is going to
No. Just because of, it's not just because the president.
The critics say the government is sabotaging this.
Depending on the lens that you're using. No, yeah, depending on the lens that you're using.
Who is you, me?
No, those who are criticizing. But this is the police. And that is not the NDC nor the president. It is purely the duty of the police to decide whether it is okay to demonstrate or not. And if they have challenges, security-wise, I believe that they will be looking at Sunyani as a city and its people, but not just the president and the NDC coming over to Sunyani. Okay. Sunyani has been a very good place. The NDC and the president love Sunyani because anytime we go to Sunyani, we are so welcome. And I've always said that I have two places in Ghana that I really enjoy going to. Sunyani because of its neatness.
Yeah, Sunyani is a very neat
very neat place. And Angloga, a very neat place as well. So for me, I'm looking forward to going to Sunyani.
So is East Legon. It's a very neat community. So,
excuse me?
Cantonment.
What, East Legon cantonments and stuff like that.
So if you want neat places. But Nihori Sankra, thanks for joining me this morning. And I know that you say you are flying to Sunyani straight away.
No, I don't fly. I always drive, no matter the distance.
You like driving?
Yeah.
All right.
It's a pleasure.
Okay. So a member of the NDC, but also Deputy Ambassador to China. And Nihori Sankra straight away will be driving to Sunyani, where the NDC also will be outdooring their manifesto, from which we know the president teased out certain points early on this week for the Ghana voter population to have a gist of what really will be in that very manifesto. It will be taking place tomorrow, but this is your election headquarters. We'll bring you the best update from that very event.